Hello, welcome to Simple Cooking with Eric. And on today, I'm going to show you how to make a 7 flavor crunch cake. A 7 flavor crunch cake. Almost like a Louisiana crunch cake, but my version. So I'm going to show you how to make a 7 flavor crunch cake. How are you all doing? Thank you all for tuning in. So the first thing we're going to do, I preset my oven to 325. I got it preheated. And then I'm going to grease and flour this burnt pan. And what I have here is some shortening. And all I'm going to do is, and I always try to give it a good grease, as you all can see. Make sure you get in all the little grooves. Make sure. So I'm getting all the grooves. Make sure you make, because you don't want your cake to stick. So this is, and then I'm going to dust it with some flour. I know I use a lot of. I'm going to dust it with the flour. As you see, I'm dusting it. Now I'm going to dump this excess flour out. So now you can see. Now the next step, I'm going to take some non-stick spray. I'm going to spray the whole pan, the inside of the pan. Give it a real good spray. I'm a little heavy-handed, y'all. So, and then I'm going to take. Now I'm going to dust it again with sugar, granulated sugar, as you all can see. I'm dusting it with, coating the entire cake pan with this sugar. So as you can see, my cake pan is dusted with sugar also. Now, I'm going to put some coconut flakes in the bottom of it. Hope you all can see. This is what's going to give it that crunch. And use as much as you like, as much coconut as you like. That's why it's called a crunch cake. Okay, now we're going to set that to the side. Now, I'm going to tell you the ingredients as I start mixing. We're going to start out what you need. In my bowl already, I have 4 ounces of cream cheese. I have a half a block of an 8-ounce block of cream cheese in my bowl. And I have a cup and a half of butter flavored shortening. Butter flavored shortening. A cup and a half. I'm going to get that started. The creaming on low. Slow it down. I'm going to get that to creamy. I'm going to turn mix this so you all can kind of see what I'm doing. So that's creaming. So there's a cup and a half for shortening. I use in butter flavor, but you can use regular shortening. And now I'm going to add 4 ounces of softened cream cheese. And now I'm going to start adding, I have 3 cups of granulated sugar, and I'm going to start adding in. One cup at a time. 3 cups of granulated sugar. Just added my second cup. Now I'm going to add my last cup. You all, it's late at night and them grandbabies are asleep. So I'm trying to get through as quick as possible. Now you want to stop and scrape your mixer down. And remember, this is 7 flavors we're going to use it. We're going to let that cream for a minute. We're going to let that cream, and then we're going to add our eggs one at a time. Now we're going to add, we got 5 eggs. 5 eggs, and we're going to add one at a time. And see, you want to add your eggs one at a time. Make sure that it's mixed, and then you add your other egg. It's very important that you make sure you want everything incorporated right. And this is going to determine the texture of your cake. You add your 3rd egg. Then we're going to add our 4th egg. Then our last egg. Now, while I scrape the bowl down, let's go over what we have so far. So far we have 4 ounces of cream cheese. That's a half a block of softened cream cheese. Anybody's cream, do not have to be Philadelphia. This is Aldi's brand. We have a cup and a half of vegetable shortening. I'm using butter flavor Crisco, but you can use regular shortening. A cup and a half, and we have 3 cups of sugar, 3 cups of granulated sugar, and then we just added 5 eggs. So now let's turn it down, and let's add our 7 flavors. So now, the 7 flavors, I have a teaspoon of each. A teaspoon of vanilla, pure vanilla extract, a teaspoon of almond extract, a teaspoon of butter flavor, that's 3, almond, vanilla, and butter, that's 3. I have a teaspoon of rum flavor, a teaspoon of coconut flavor, and a teaspoon of lemon flavor. That's 6. And then a teaspoon of orange extract. That is the 7. So, my 7 flavors are a teaspoon of each. Vanilla, almond, rum, coconut, lemon, butter, and orange. So, we're gonna give our mixer scrape again. got our flavors in there, okay? Now, you're also going to need 3 cups of sifted all-purpose flour. Now, I showed you how the video how to make the cake flour, but we're not using that homemade cake flour for this. We're using all-purpose flour, and I sifted and then I measured it. I sifted first, and then I'm going to measure as we go, to be honest. I'm going to measure as I put it in there. So this is sifted all-purpose flour. And you're going to need 1 1/4 cup of milk, whole milk. As you all can see, I got 1 1/4 cup of whole milk. And you're going to start out with the flour and end with the flour, alternating. And you're also going to need a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of baking powder. A teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of baking powder. So, let's turn our mixer on. So, now I took it on. Let's measure out a cup of flour. See? And how I leveled it when I measured it. We're going to gradually add that in. And I'm going to add our salt and baking powder. And I'm going to add a little of our milk, half of our milk. Now I'm going to add another cup of flour. And I'm going to add the rest of our milk. And I'm going to stop and scrape our bowl down. And then I'm going to add the last cup of flour. Because you want to make sure you get it. But you don't want to overmix the mix. Overmix it either, so. This is our last 3 cups. As you all can see, I'm measuring. A sifted all-purpose flour. We're going to let that mix for a minute. Not too long though, because we don't want to overmix it. And let me scrape it down one more good time, then give it one more good mix. Make sure all our flour is in there. God, it smells good. All these flavors incorporated. And this is a 7-flavor crunch cake. A 7-flavor crunch cake. Ooh. Tell it's late now, huh? I'm just going to. Okay. That should be enough. So now, we're going to put this in up and we're going to let this bake for about an hour. I'm thinking maybe an hour and 20 minutes. But I'm going to check it period. I'm going to check it in about 50 minutes. Then check it every 10 minutes after that. Okay, so now we have our cake pan. I'm going to put our batter in there. This batter is so smooth and creamy. pound. Give it a little pound, and now we're gonna put it in our oven. And I'll once we get it in the oven, then we're gonna make a quick glaze. So we're gonna make our glaze while our cake is baking. So in this bowl I have I have 2 cups of powdered sugar, and then I got a third of a cup of milk, and then I got a half a teaspoon of the 7 flavors: coconut, orange, rum, butter, vanilla, and almond and lemon. I'm going to put those in here in the milk, and I'm going to give that a little stir. And then I got a half stick of butter that I melted on the stove. I got it a little brown, and then I'm going to add it to the sugar. We're just going to whisk it. See, that's our 7 flavor glaze that's going to go on top of our cake, of our crunch cake. So we'll set that to the side. Smells good, you all these flavors coming together. As you can see, it has a little kind of a brown, a tan color, because I let the butter get a little brown. I want it because when I brush it on the cake and the toasted coconuts are brown. So it's going to be delicious. So I'll get back to you when the cake is ready. And remember to like, share, and subscribe. And if you have comments or you want to know anything, want me to try something new, you can send me an email at simplecookingwitheric@gmail.com, or you can leave a comment at the bottom. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Tell your family. Please continue to support the channel. It's a new channel, but it's doing great, and I'm excited about sharing my gift to the world. So I can do a little of everything, and I'm willing to try anything. So if you have any suggestions, you might want me to try this, try that, just shoot me an email or leave me a comment. Get back to you in a minute. So you see, I just took our cake out the oven. So we're going to let it cool it's firm, as hard as a crust. We're going to let it cool in here for about 15 minutes in the pan. Then I'm going to take it out. As you can see, look how nice, look how golden, ain't it beautiful? And you can just smell the crunchiness. This is a crunch cake. Look at it. I'm going to let it cool a little bit longer before we put the icing on it. So now I'm going to put our glaze on here. Isn't that a pretty cake? It's still kind of warm. Now the great reveal. You got the coconut. The cake is brown, and as you can see, the crunch. Isn't that beautiful cake? It's still kind of warm, but I'm going to cut it. As you can see, I'm cutting. It's still warm, y'all, but you can hear that crunch. Look at that. Look at the texture of it, smooth as velvet. Y'all, the cake is still hot, but I tell y'all, this cake is a delicious cake. My take on a Louisiana crunch cake. 7 flavor crunch cake. Look at it. I mean, it is delicious. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. If you have any comments, don't forget you can email me at simplecookingwitheric and leave your comments. And please tell your family and friends to subscribe and like and share. Until we meet again, treat each other kind, do good, and peace. Love you.